Folks, hello and welcome to Tavern Chat. I'm your host, Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR, your main proprietor at the Tenkar's Tavern blog. And yes, despite that green halo I got going around me, if you look closely, Tenkar has one of his COVID haircuts going on. So, a little bit more shapely than the wild mess I had previous to this. So, I do it. I do it for the holidays. So, yesterday, uh, addition to the live stream that I did with Bed Mike and uh, Alice Lala Peng, um, myself and my wife, Rach, we talked about, I guess, consent at the gaming table, or, the whole idea that people should have, I guess, the ability to tap out if a game session goes in a direction that they are not mentally or emotionally prepared to handle. So what does that mean, really, right? And the conversation's been great. I'm going to say this: the conversation over on YouTube and on Facebook. Listen, I don't have to agree with what you say, nor to respect what you say, because it's eye opening to hear the different perspectives on this. And I think one of the biggest things that I heard, and I can't argue with this at all, is that as DMs, GMs, we're not healthcare professionals, right? We're not here trained on how to help somebody deal with their trauma. All right. Unlike Rach, who is trained in that, and if she was running a game, if she was going to DM, that would be something that she would bring to the table as an additional skill. By far, the vast majority of us are not trained in such. Um, the one of the jokes that Rach and I have had since we met is she's also a drug and alcohol treatment counselor. One of her many qualifications and trainings. And I was like, oh yeah, when I used to deal with my weed people, when I would arrest people for marijuana, I my usual line was, hey, you should got. This is going back 20 years, folks. Plus, I'm not saying today, but I would tell them they should get a legal vice like beer, alcohol, drink at home like the vast majority of cops did. And as Rach was kind enough to point out, maybe I was lessening harm, but I certainly wasn't doing away with the harm. But as an armchair, uh, I don't know, drug counselor, because cops fill up every role, um, it wasn't a horrible attempt. So here's my thoughts on this larger conversation that's going on, and we're not going to deal with taking things out of settings because it could offend somebody. Because once you do that, you can neuter every setting to the point where there's nothing left. But communication at the game table is important. I'm not just saying, oh well, the DM has to tell you what you're encountering, set the scene, interpret the results, and you as a player are going to tell him what you rolled and maybe embellish a little bit what your actions are going to be. No, not that kind of communication. Okay, the communication that a lot of us believe that we're good at, and we just fucking don't do. We just drop, right? And that's that communication of before you get to that point of, oh shit, this game session is going in a direction that's going to put me through trauma. Before you get to that point, okay, maybe, just maybe, you should share something with the person running the game. Doesn't have to be specific, doesn't have to be on target, but enough to let them know that, hey, listen, it could be something. If we go in a certain direction, it might not be good for me, and that's fine. There's going to DM's going to obey your wishes and avoid it, but maybe they will, or maybe they will change how it's approached. But if you don't communicate, if the only way you're going to let your group know is that we've gone into these deep waters that you're going to be trashing about and feeling like you're floundering and you need air, you got to come up for it. If that doesn't come up until that moment, you've done not just yourself a disservice, you've done the gaming group a disservice, you've done your GM a disservice, you've done the hobby a disservice. Because, listen, we all have different life experiences. Some have really heavy, disturbing life experiences. You know what you're bringing to the table. Your group does not. Okay? Your group does not know if you are a victim of trauma that you're bringing it with you. They don't know. And whose responsibility is it to let them know? It's yours at the very least to let the GM know. To some extent, if you see, oh wait, this scenario could be going into, oh wait, these raiders are, you just said they're raping and pillaging, and I was a victim of sexual assault. This might go in a direction I don't want it to go to. Uh, Listen, John, do you mind if can I talk to you out of the game for a second? Yeah, away from the table. Let's go out. Listen, I don't know where this is going to go exactly, but I'm going to be very uncomfortable if we start talking in depth about victims of sexual assault. You don't have to share it with the whole table. And the problem with the X card is, in a way, you're sharing with the whole table and you're sharing nothing with the table, right? You're not telling them why you can't handle it. You're just going, I can't handle the whatever. And part of being in a group situation is embracing the group, right? Just like you want them to respect your feelings, right? You want them to respect what happens to you. You have to respect the group dynamics. And again, the conversations have been great. They've been passionate. They've been civil, dare I say, for the most part. A few people on Facebook, but Facebook is Facebook. But really, because it's not an easy conversation to have, right? And I also understand the idea of, well, if they were a victim, you don't want to re-victimize them. I understand it. I'm did 20 years as a cop. I was an investigator. I supervised investigators. I understand it. But at the same time, if you wish to participate in a community or in a group or in these game sessions where things can potentially go in directions that you're not going to necessarily feel comfortable with, you owe it to the people you're playing with to be as honest as you can be. You owe it to yourself. You know, sometimes the best way to overcome past trauma is to probably role play a character that can overcome such trauma or defeat such trauma or fight such trauma. So avoidance isn't always necessarily the route you want to go. I'm not speaking for everybody. And again, I am not even an armchair psychotherapist. I don't have any experience in this field. Okay. But I do have experience as a game master and as a gamer. And these are activities that are group activities that we share with each other. Role playing is not a single player game, right? It's not even one on one. It's usually a group of 3 players plus one, right? And sometimes sweet spots 4 or 5 or 6. And the more players you put into the mix, the more potentials you're going to have for something like this to come up. And you owe it to the people that you are sharing this experience with to be as honest as you can. That's my opinion. And I'm sure somebody's going to tell me I'm full of shit. Hey, I've been told that for probably 54 years of my life. From the moment I filled up the first diaper was shit. Uh, I won't be offended if you tell me that. I will be offended if you tell me that and you don't have an argument to explain why. Really, it's that simple. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm going to solve all these issues by this one video. Of course not. And I'm not saying that I'm right. And there might be some great ideas that come back from the conversation that's going to happen because of this video, because of you, or maybe somebody that you can't stand because they disagree with your perspective, but maybe the truth is somewhere in between. All right. Or maybe the best way forward is somewhere none of us have discussed yet. I don't know. But again, one of the worst things you can do is throw that monkey wrench into a game session at that exact moment. And you know where your spots are. None of this stuff's going to blindside you unless you're not paying attention to yourself. If you know where it's going, pull the GM aside, pull the DM aside, and just be. I guess I know it's somebody's gonna say maybe Ric's gonna tell me. Well, I'm gonna say be an adult. I'm gonna say be an adult. Take a little responsibility for not just yourself, but for everybody at that table to ensure that everybody gets the most out of the session. And yet still everybody feels comfortable at the table. Got to find a way to balance it. So, folks, real quick, today is the day before Christmas Eve. So tomorrow is Christmas Eve. And normally I would be doing a live stream, my interactions with Joe the lawyer. I'll be at my sister's house. Joe will be at his family's house. So we are not going to be around for a live stream. However, we are going to experiment with something. I guess they call it premiere. So we're going to record earlier tomorrow, and then I will premiere it Friday night when I get home. And I will sit in the chat and I will answer stuff, and people can comment and respond. And we may do something similar Christmas Day, Rach and I for Gamers Health. So you will have content going up on the holidays. Okay? Guaranteed. Just might change in the format that is given to you. Listen, we're still in the midst of the world of COVID, right? You take actions to keep yourself, your family, your friends, your loved ones healthy and safe. In the case of my family, I ordered on Amazon the do-it-yourself self-testing at home, get your results in 15-minute COVID test because, hey, you should know. And Rach and I fought off a cold for about a week and a half each. And now my mother's been fighting off a cold, and we're coming up on Christmas. So she's been feeling miserable. And it's like, you know what? Peace of mind before we have people over the house. Let's test. And let's not wait 4 hours on a goddamn line at some urgent care to get tested. Let's do it. And we did it tonight and followed all the instructions and waited 15 minutes. And no, my mother does not have COVID. So these are little things you can do, right? I mean, now we know. So it's a safe household because mother doesn't have COVID and Rach and I are past our symptoms. Then we're all good. Be safe, be well. God bless. Roll those dice. If you don't catch this channel again before Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah for all those who have holidays or holy days coming up this month or beginning of next month. You're all in my prayers. I will see you all tomorrow, at the very least, in the chat as the non-live stream goes up as a kind of live stream. Probably. All right, folks. Thank you.